guys, welcome to my channel. Kiva here, and today we're going to be doing a May monthly book wrap up. It's the 5th month in the year and we have to be thankful that we have lived to see this month and finish it. Yep. So guys, I've read 12 books, which means that I've surpassed my book reading goal for the month of 10 books. So without further ado, let's get into the books that I've read for the month of May. My first book that I've read was Chemistry by Gray Huffington, and it just got released in this month, May, and I was like, yo, once we were talking about Gray Huffington, we definitely have to rush and go and read it. Now, Chemistry story has been one of the most anticipated story that we wanted from the Gray Huffington series, and this is the start of the series for Chemistry and his sisters. So with all of that going on, let's get into Chemistry story. And let me tell you this man is meticulous. This man is on point. He is 10 steps ahead, and that's the thing that I have to love about Chemistry right across the board. This is a story. Egypt is on a mission. She's an undercover agent that is a dancer in their club, there to find this man, this drug dealer that they're trying to get, but they can't get to you because he's always 10 steps ahead. She's there as a stripper, get involved with this mysterious man that she has this crazy pull to, and only to find out that when it all comes said and done, this is the person that she needs to capture. Now she's in a rock and a hard place. She's in love with Chemistry, but at the same time she's looking at it, I have my duty. And I'm telling you, this story is such a beautiful story. I have to read it to get immersed into the entirety of what I'm feeling right now. This was a 5-star read, and no doubt about it, you're going to love it. I'm telling you, how can you love somebody still knowing that they're going to betray you? That is the part that Chemistry actually got down pack. I mean, I love their chemistry on page, how they actually interact with each other, how they feed into each other. Come on, I mean, like, Gray Huffington did a splendid job with this book. And we move on to book 2, This Could Be Us, and this is one on my most anticipated book list for the year by Kennedy Ryan, and it was definitely worth the wait. And I'm telling you, this is the story of Soldad. This is the second book in the Skylar series. I think that's how it the Skylar series, where it gives Soldad and Judah's story. This is a second chance romance, another second chance romance, but in a different variation. And I'm telling you, I've heard mixed views about this book, but for me, I really love how this book was told. The story was told. Yes, it was not mostly about raunchy story. It was more like this woman, Soldad, husband left her in a ditch, literally, figuratively I should say, and she has to pull herself, not only just herself but her kids, out of this situation where her husband have left her in. The man that actually found out what the husband was doing is the guy that she falls in love with, and now she has to deal with healing herself, getting back on her feet because she becomes the provider now, and navigating the world after divorce with kids, and kids that still believe that their father has so much more hero worshipping, she had said, in store. They still in that phase. And I mean, like, I love how Kenny Ryan does her book. She's always bringing awareness to a particular situation. This book, Judah's sons are autistic, and it shows two different levels of autism and how each person interact with them and how they actually interact with everybody. And I'm going to tell you this was a beautiful written story. I understand that most people were expecting the buzz, the hype, the smut level to be turned up, and it was just filled with it. It's not like Before I Let Go. It's so much different because it's a beautiful two different stories, so I expected two different kind of reaction to it. And I'm telling you, this book, This Could Be Us, was beautifully written, and I love how the fact that Soledad went in, created a life for herself, and get to know the person that she was. I mean, like, come on. And a guy that actually just knows how to actually pull back and say, all right, I'm going to be supportive of you in everything that you do. It's not my time as yet, but when my time come, I'm going to make the best of it. And that's what Judah did. So you just have to love that story. So we move on to book 3, Sail You Ride. This is Shiloh and Stevie. This young lady was in a particular situation, and she went to a new city and to get her life sorted out. You know, she was in an abusive home with her previous lover, and it turned out that she ended up with Shiloh. Shiloh now is, you know, thugs on the street, and I mean, like, it was such a it was a good read. I definitely can say it, because he's like, oh, when they found out about some little secrets about it, they found out that she was going to the police station, and he was like, oh, you're a snitch and you know, all these little things, you know, the kind of third act breakup, but they didn't break up. It was just one of those nice little stories. It took all the over parts, and in between, it's a palate cleanser for me, I would definitely say. But it was actually okay, and I love the whole little thing about it. He was like, oh, I still love you, and you know, those things go. But we move on to the beginning of Forever by A.E. Valdez, and this is the second installment. I think it's the third. I think it's the third book. I don't want to say it, but it's out. It's one of the books that is in the series. This is Asin and Harlow's story, book 2, where this is after they're trying to get married. I do love this story. I love book 1 and I love book 2. Yeah, it's like let me tell you, the best part about this story is when Asin's mother was like, oh, do you think she is like worth it? And Asin was like, no, ma, we're not going to do this. You're not going to disrespect my wife. You need to go, ma'am. You need to go. And I was like, okay, this is Asin. I don't know why everybody just feel like, yeah, they need to play with him. I mean, like, it shows their love story after the whole engagement, and she was like super stressed and saying that she can't bother with a big wedding because that's not her. And they got eloped, and the whole thing about it, how you navigate the world after elopement, and who should disappoint or who should not disappoint, you know, all of that. And they just show their love story in a different way, how much they're connected, and it trickles to start the trigger to the starting of A Worthy Love. Let me tell you this, A Worthy Love is definitely worth reading. I mean, like, I love the entire story. This young lady was in such a funk, and Asha just came in and showed her worth, what love really looks like on the right side. Understand? Not somebody trying to manipulate the situation. I mean, like, I love the entire story. It was like, Asha was like, oh, you feel like this is how it's going to go down, sir? I will hurt you for her. You hear me? And it's just a beautiful love story. You need to read A Worthy Love by A.E. Valdez to just experience my moment, the entire story. When you look at it, and she was like, she felt like she didn't deserve love because of the fact that this one person come in and just destroyed her whole entire world because of selfishness. I mean, like, the entire book had me riled up at some moments. I mean, like, come on. But guys need to read it. I really love. Alright, so the Dead Cat Tail Assassin, and I'm telling you, this book is an arc read. Bear in mind, it's an arc read, and it tells the story of Evie. She was like, oh, she is a badass assassin, and she got this job that needed to complete tonight, and she went, when she pulled the cover and said yes, she's going to complete it, she's looking back at herself and she was like, oh no, I can't do this. She ended up rescuing it, and they went on this big adventure to find out who made that job. Why is she seeing herself? Why is this person have everything like me but in an inverted way? There's so many things. I love the banter. I love the entire story, how it was written, and it's not long, so you need to actually read it. I mean, the goddesses, when they finally came and they summoned these goddesses and they were like, yo, are we run things and not things run we? I mean, like, I was cracking up the entire time in office reading this book. And yeah, it's a arc novella, and it's definitely worth the read. Evie's story and on her adventure to actually getting answers for the whole get down of it. I mean, it's not long. I'm just imagine everything is packed into that in just one big nice story. So I'll be the one, and because it's forever and all this together, the Masters Family series by T-Lin. I've always wanted to read these 3 books. I wanted to try out T-Lin stories, and these are the 3 books that I actually wanted to start it off with. It's following the Masters brothers story, Mind King, Princeton, and Kaisire, and they are dating the young ladies of Destiny, Dior, and Sapphire. Listen, in I'll Be the One, my king is getting married to a young lady that nobody likes. He himself barely likes her. That's how I view it. And he meets this girl that calls his sperm donor bank to get to him because they have a child together. Because she uses sperm, actually. No, she's like, oh, something is wrong with the baby. She wants to get to the father so he can get the donation from him, blood and marrow from him. And before you know it, he and Destiny is getting into things because they have this connection instantaneously, no matter what. And the relationship started and they getting together. It was such a beautiful start to the entire series. No. Now that they've gotten into the whole thing, her ex is claiming that his baby, and it's just a crazy get down. I mean, like, I'm like, my king was like, what you said, sir? Let me tell you this, you need to leave today. The man said my flight is tomorrow. That is not my problem. You need to leave today. Exactly. He doesn't play about his destiny. Because it's forever, I'm a little bit biased right now because book 2 is my favorite, Safari and Princeton story. I don't know, something about these men that are a little bit unhinged. You know, they're not, it's that, and then, you know, I may ask question later. Definitely. Princeton is the second brother to my king. He is the enforcer for the whole get down of their family, and he's madly in love with Sapphire. Sapphire come to their hometown pregnant, and like your family just take on to her, and he's like, so Granny's always around him, and I mean, like, come on. Let me tell you, their grandmother don't play, and Princeton just always, interested in her, and he's like, oh, he brought her to the hospital when they were classifying him as, telling him that, oh, dad, this is what is happening, and he's like, I'm not correcting nobody. He's just playing this role without even thinking twice. Let me tell you this, Princeton is the man of the hour, and he doesn't play about his Safari. I mean, like, Safari is coming from a very abused and dark background, and I love how Djèlí got, like, Princeton is the person for the job. He's unhinged. He can deal with this kind of person, and it requires this kind of dealing to deal with whatever she was dealing in her past. And I'm telling you, this young man, he went up above and beyond for Safari, sorry, and becoming his grandmother, because no matter what, she is calling this young lady everything other than her name. And she was like, she's very edgy because she has never experienced love in this kind of way. She's wondering why everybody is trying to help her. When finally, when things got out of hand, like, her past is catching up to her, she's like, yo, I need to, to leave. And Princeton was like, no, we're not doing that. You don't need to fear. People need to fear us. You hear, mama? People need to fear us, not the other way around. And I mean, Princeton dealt with her past and started now we go to Hold Us Together with Cassire and Dior story. This is an age gap story, but Cassire is a young guy with the older woman that has her life together. And Cassire is a singer slash rapper. He's a artist, and he's like, okay, I got my hand set on this young lady. When she came there for signing, when she came for signing, he got shot, and immediately things turned to a different direction. He's asking, Cassar is the youngest member of the Masters family, the baby, and legit that's how they treat him. They protect him from everything. He's not a part of the old gang thing. He's not a made man. He's just an artist, and he's always wondering why they always keeping him out. The whole story of how he grows up. I love his character development, moving from just a playboy to somebody mature that can be with a mature woman with a child. Everybody in this series is getting a child. Like, seriously, when he start thinking about how your daughter is going to react to him, and he start putting things into place, how he needs to actually be more vigilant. And sometimes these are good things. He's out there living his wild life and think it's not going to catch up to him. And the whole story is such a beautiful one. Sometimes you have to come through and come clear and come clean before your story comes out, and that's sometimes what breaks relationship. And this is something that Casa had to find out the hard way with Dior. And even though Dior is in such a place at this point in time, she was facing so many other things, dealing with her family. She had two sisters that just dirty and bad mind, and they are one and telling her that she acts like she's better than them, and at the same time treating her daughter the same way. Just as how the parents behave, that's how their kids behave towards her and her child. And I've always looked at it, adults that made their children become bitter, because they are feeling bitter within themselves. It's just one of those things. And I love how they navigate that, and how Kasara was like, yo, let me introduce you to my family, where you're going to experience real love. You're going to feel very comfortable. These are the people that you want to be around you. And I love how they accepted baby girl, and they were without even thinking twice and letting her feel good. I love this scene where baby girl was so sad, and he was like, yo, she know that she was going to go for Sunday dinner, and she just waited till she got to Sunday dinner because she wanted to see Uncle Princeton, because Uncle Princeton is a bad is the madman of the family and can get shit done. And he's like, yeah, I need to go to this go to Uncle Princeton to get my situation sorted out, because they took her necklace and her chain that Kasara gave her for her birthday. And legit, Princeton, my king, Kasara went over there and got it back and put this man in his place. Because if you're a sperm donor, keep on behaving like a sperm donor. Don't behave like you're a real Perry and behaving like this way. But overall, the Master series was just a beautiful one to read. If you're into a baby trope kind of situation, you're going to love this. And I mean, like, between my king, Princeton, and Kasaya, you're going to love the entire thing, because everybody got a baby at the end of the day. You understand? Even if they didn't actually produce it for himself, because Princeton don't claim Safari, son before it's even born. So we went on to Falling for a Savage book 1 to 3. You know, sometimes I'm, reading these books and I'm sitting down looking, in real life, if these things supposed to happen, this would actually turn out to be a really good movie or a good story time to tell your grandkids. Now, Falling for a Savage is following two sets of siblings, two sisters, Dream and Destiny, and they end up with two brothers, Elijah and Jeremiah. Destiny is with her boyfriend, and he's like, yo, somebody stick them up inside of her home, and she's wondering what is going on here, while her boyfriend is like, yo, I can give her your money. She's like, yo, let me put, this Destiny did not play. She beat the crap out of him, because how can you be offering my money that I am planning to do something with my life? And I sit down and I look. No, bear in mind, this guy was like, yo, he liked the spark that is in Destiny. This is Jeremiah, aka Juice, and he's like, yo, I'm going to come back for my money, make sure you got it. And he ended up falling for Destiny. Their love story is kind of topsy-turvy, while on the other side, her sister is meeting the other brother that comes into her office and saying to her boss, saying, yo, he has a surprise for the boss. And the boss is like, at her eye when she gone outside telling everybody to come with her because her man has a surprise for her. Well, the surprise was he's breaking up with her because he found out that she is cheating on him. And no, this is the part that was like, he said, give your secretary my number. Instantly she got fired, even though she does not care for that job, because she was planning to leave because she has big plans to get her own business. She and her sister is going to open a beauty shop, a salon, and this just only speed up this process. Now bear in mind, they went ahead and said they're getting a shop. Imagine when you went to the shop owner that is renting the space to you is Elijah mommy, and so comes that's how you end up meeting him again, and he invites you out on a dinner while your sister is there wondering, dealing with all of that. Both of these sisters have ex. I just just don't want to see them shine. They are literally the weapon that forms against these women, because there is no possible way that after falling in love with these persons, your ex becoming the very much nuisance in your life. Now Destiny has this money, and bear in mind her ex-boyfriend steals out the money that she need for a down payment when she go and count the money to say she's going to pay down on the salon to get it. She is short by some amount of money because this dirty man took her money. He did not see her vision, and he did not care for it because, you know, she too much. She feel like she too much. Now, Dream, on the other hand, is coming from a very abusive relationship, and now she finally taking that leap with Elijah, and her relationship is going on pretty well until she go and visit her ex-boyfriend in prison, and it just start going down the hill. I mean, like, book 1 to 3 is a whole roller coaster of events. I mean, like, I felt it for Dream, and I legit hated Elijah for the things that he has done to her because he thinks that she is cheating. Both of them are coming from different trauma. She is actually coming from the place that she has been abused, and now she's moving on and letting this man listen. Sir, when you come out, you're not going to have me because guess what? I've moved on. He's like, okay, the last relationship that I was in, this girl was cheating on me. So it's the same thing. These women are not loyal. That's the only thing that he was having in his head. While that is going on, Destiny, on the other hand, is having problems with Juice because he's like, you know, he's on his wild thing. He does not want to settle down. But, you know, when love calls, everybody have to settle down. Destiny, and they have been going through so many little things. How many things have gone down. The ex comes out creating a rampage in their lives. It's like, as I said, their exes are legit the weapon that farm against them. You know, all of that is just one of those things. I mean, for the entire book, these girls' exes are creating havoc in their life. Just saying that, you know, in the end, everything prevails and is a happily ever after. They, you know, they get the work out their kinks in the end, and you just have to love it. These young men had to take out these exes. It's just simple as that because they were causing too much chaos. The craziest part about it is that when you look into the book, it's just so much drama going down. It turns out that one got injured thinking that it's his father. No, that's not his father. That is the man that, yeah, it's not his biological father. Yeah, come on. The drama never ends in this book. So we move on to, here I'm telling everybody I read 12 books. It's 15 books, 14 books that I've read because this is 3, and I just call this series as 1 to 3 as, you know, one set of book. But we went on to a series. I got this book, One Little Nightmare, from Stuffy Kindle Day. They say it's a Pandora retelling story. This is featuring 3 persons: Pandora herself, this mystery girl, this man that is paranoid and schizophrenic and in a asylum, and this young lady that a siren that, you know, just in oppression. Now it's telling the story that this young man is thinking that he is hearing voices in his head, but when it turns out it's more than voices. These are actually real life people that is actually talking to him, but they are super connected. This is a Greek story, and once it's a Greek mythology, I'm really interested to actually get into the story. And that's something I love. How I don't know Pandora's story for myself as yet, so, you know, reading it and telling myself that, okay, this is what's going to go down. The entire story is that when he's going through it, thinking that everything that is going on is, you know, all in his head, but really things are really happening. And when he finally gets out of the whole scenario and really finds out who he is. It says more than what everybody else is thinking. This man is a whole god, creator of everything. And you know, just the whole thing. Book one, One Little Nightmare, is telling the whole story of him getting out of the asylum. Book two is when he got out of the asylum and they're in this particular place that actually reads somewhere else. And when it all comes down, you're looking at it from the point of, you know, you just have to look at it from the point that he's understanding who he is, she along with who is inside of his head. It's a passenger. This is his dark side. And I realized that each person, they tend to have this other side to them talking inside of their head. And the whole story went down of him trying to figure out how to reach to a particular place to avenge his friend, that is Pandora, which she gave up her life for him. You know, the whole thing is to get to that part of the story, and it's telling how he connected with the young lady that was in his head, who is actually a real person, the Siren, which is his love of his life. And I feel like book 3 is going to actually show how far their connection is running and get down to the whole story of finalizing everything. Book 3 is going to be coming out sometime later this year, so I'm looking forward to actually reading it. Really looking forward to actually read it, because this will actually make the story much whole, because right now you're left in a little bit of confusion there. And it's an awesome book. It's a quick read. If you love Greek mythology, you're going to actually really interested in reading it. But otherwise, I've read 14 books this month, which I'm really happy about, especially like books like chemistry. This could be us, and I'm really glad that I'm actually getting to touch on some of my most anticipated books. This is the first book from the list that I've read, and I'm really looking forward to actually reading other books from that list, and looking forward to what I read in June. So guys, tell me which book that you actually read in May that makes you go, oh. Have you ever read Teeling books? And are there any more recommendations from her sets of books that you can recommend for me? Drop them in the comments. You know, just always leave your recommendations. I've always wanted to actually add more books to my TBR list. I don't know why, but I always want to, because it's not always, I don't want to always read the same type of books. But as I said, I'm touching on my anticipated book list now. And I'm very proud of myself. So guys, until next time, bye.